a golden saying by one of the prominent literate in Sri Lanka, Kumaratunga Munidasa, that there won't be any progress in a society, in a country in which innovations doesn't happen. Innovation is not an ad hoc thing. It fueled through entrepreneurial mindset. Then what is this entrepreneurial mindset? What is its importance? Today, we have one of the most suitable personalities to discuss about this matter. We have the Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies of the Open University of Sri Lanka and Professor in Marketing and well-known academic figure, that is Professor Nalin Abeysekara. Dear sir, we are very honored to have you here today to discuss about the development of entrepreneurial mindset, which is really important in present Sri Lankan context, because we know we are experiencing an economic crisis which is induced by post-pandemic era. So sir, actually this entrepreneurial mindset may be an overheard word for someone. Somebody may not have heard this term. Actually, what do you mean by entrepreneurial mindset?
Talking about entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial mindset, I consider that's really important for the country. So prior to discuss about the entrepreneurship, better for us to have a kind of idea about what is the difference between entrepreneur and the business person. The business person actually want to make profit, but entrepreneurs are always concerned about something aligned with the value addition for the customer. So if you are an entrepreneur, you want to do something different, something out of the box. By looking at the country, by looking at the situation, we have to be very much concerned about producing not employees for the country, entrepreneurs for the country. Universities and all, we can see, if you are really talking about producing employees, we are looking for someone who always having a dependent mentality. But entrepreneurship itself actually talking about the person who like to take initiations, like to take risk and all. So technically we consider that entrepreneurship is really important for the country, and by looking at the gross national product contribution, SME sector contribution for the 52% of the GNP by looking at the entrepreneurship, and more importantly for the employment sector also 48% of the contribution coming from the small and medium entrepreneurship. Because of that, the country, I think better for us to have more recognition for the entrepreneurs. Now come to your point on entrepreneurial mindset. So who is the person with the entrepreneurial mindset? If I am the person with the entrepreneurial mindset, I like to take the initiations, I like to think out of the box, I always like to always talking about, always willing to take certain different directions, and here we are talking about the person aligned with different set of skills that we considered as the person with the entrepreneurial mindset. So it means technically we are talking about a general layman versus the person with the entrepreneurial mindset that we considered as really important. And even in the business world, if you are talking about Steve Jobs or Richard Branson or Zuckerberg, if you really study about them, and if you are really talking about Sri Lankan business people, Sri Lankan entrepreneurs, starting with Upali Vijayawardena to the new ventures. So we can see this sort of a different way of thinking, taking risk, and always like to have market orientation, and they are always concerned about the reality of the business environment. That actually we considered as basic essence of the entrepreneurship mindset.
Yes sir. Then sir, I would like to point out something from your speech itself. Yes sir, we have many universities which are offering management and entrepreneurship courses, and we have many more management undergraduate, but still when it comes to the real impact, the rate of entrepreneurship, number of entrepreneurs are kind of low in Sri Lanka. So sir, where the problem lies in, where does the problem?
Yeah, I think it should embedded with the education system of the country. So as I clearly mentioned, in Sri Lankan context, we are always talking about the relationship between employer and the employee. So the entrepreneurship mindset, entrepreneurial orientation actually been not extensively discussed in Sri Lankan context. Even I can see most of the time the graduates who pass out always looking for a government jobs. Yes. So they want to have a kind of a comfort zone, but the country is in trouble now at the moment. So we need to always think about whether we are going to have our own comfort zone or we think something out of the box and doing something to the country. Yeah. So that is really important. In that scenario, I think the syllabus, the education curriculum, even the workshops and all like align with the requirement of the graduate profile we need to change for this country. In that particular scenario, I think Open University, the management faculty and other faculties, they also having a kind of initiation to produce a graduate with entrepreneurial qualities that we considered as important. I think we can see the young people at the moment, the grade 11 student in one of the school in Colombo, actually like he is using this platform called Fiverr, and he produced few videos where he earned around $20 and he celebrated his birthday without getting any single cent from his parents. That can be considered another classic example for Sri Lankan context, say like age 15, around 15 to 16. So, how you have this entrepreneurship mindset. So, now fortunately we have very importantly young people, say like around 15 to spectrum of around 15 to 35, they want to do something different. They do not like to do kind of a jobs. They are always concerned about this entrepreneurial mindset. They are always willing to take some risks, but as academics, as professionals, I think we need to give them the mentoring. Mentoring is really important. Even the banking system in Sri Lanka, the financial whatever the establishment should support them. We need to encourage them. I have seen in some public and private banks, the young person step into the bank where he asking for a loan or something, they always like to discourage them. But in Sri Lanka, like other countries, once you go outside, we need to have certain motivators for the entrepreneurs, especially for the young entrepreneurs. The to survival of this country, always I feel depend on the entrepreneurial mindset and our young generation.
Yes, sir. Then actually fueling up the industry insights to the academia, to the syllabus, I think that's really important in higher education landscape, isn't that so, sir?
Exactly, yes. The relationship between academia and the industry. I have seen the many aspects, there are different egos between these two different segments. But in strategic management, we talk about synergy. 1 plus 1, it should be more than 2.
Yeah.
So, it means technically everybody should get together. The working with the industry, working with the academia, scholarly publications with the managerial implications are really important. Then only we can see people always like to contribute something to the nation, contribute something to the nation with a real sense. So, I think John F. Kennedy once say, ask what you can do for your country, not the country can do for you. One of the most popular president who was in US, actually his time can be considered as one of the time where people considered him as a hero. So, in Sri Lankan context, I think what we need to do, we have to always think what is our responsibility towards the citizens, and so we are coming from the free education. So, we have to do something, whatever things we gain from the Dr. C.W.W. Kannangara. In that particular scenario, I believe the entrepreneurial mindset should be inculcated, where the industry and the academia partnership we consider as really important. Both parties should get together, work together for a common forum or for a common platform.
Yes, sir, exactly. I agree with that. And also, sir, when it comes to culture, we identify culture as the glue which combines all of us together. So, what should be the role of Sri Lankan culture to implant this entrepreneurial seed in the minds of even our younger generation or even the kids?
Yeah, Sri Lankan culture historically embedded with all these entrepreneurial mindset and values. But unfortunately, I think last 50-60 years time we have observed the culture itself been isolated with our fundamentals. One of the good example, the Munidasa Kumaratunga, he mentioned about Desa Basa Rasa. So, it means technically we have to respect to the nation, we have to respect for the mother tongue, we have to respect for the country and the culture. But I have seen, I have witnessed certain aspects where we do not like to respect for your mother tongue, because mother tongue is really important for you to have your imagination and creativity. So, it means technically better for us to revisit our history, revisit our value system, because Sri Lankans, I always feel like we have lost the identity because we do not respect for the country, the nation and the value system. So, again I propose to revisit this so called whatever the value system of the country. From that we can get Sri Lankan indigenous cultural values.
So actually we have discussed the importance of entrepreneurship to a nation, to a country, and we can discuss the importance of entrepreneurial mindset to an organization, because we have not only entrepreneurship but also intrapreneurship, internal entrepreneurship. So the importance of entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship to an organization but also to an individual person. Shall we discuss?
Exactly. The intrapreneurship is really important. I think Google, they say 80-20 rule. 80% you can involve, engage with the organization work, 20% you can think something with the progressive work of the particular organization. They have given some time, 80-20 rule. Like in Sri Lankan context, for the organization, entrepreneurship is really important. So if I am an employee working in the university, I have to think, okay, this student affairs department taking more time to process the student whatever the request. So as an employee with my open mindset, how I am going to help to have a kind of a systematic way to remove certain hurdles. So likewise we need to have a kind of an entrepreneurship mindset embedded for the employees. It means technically you are working in the organization, but you have to have obligation to make the organization towards the success story. In that scenario, like entrepreneurship mindset, the entrepreneurial orientation for the employee, the way you think, the way you have kind of innovation for the organization, it might be not only new to the world, maybe the process innovation, maybe the system innovation or something, that also very important, where we need to have a good leadership. In the leadership we are talking about inspirational motivation is really important. We have to intellectually stimulate the employees, then I think they will start to think everything in a different way. They also should be a part and parcel of the success of the organization. That entrepreneurship orientation also really important for the organization to inculcate new ideas. I think I have witnessed most of the institutions in Sri Lanka, the universities, the young crowd, they are come up with the new innovative ideas. We have to encourage them, we have to respect them, then only we can see the best organizations in the world.
Obviously, sir, entrepreneurship would be the way out for us, especially during this economic crisis. Therefore, do not let your entrepreneurial ideas, your entrepreneurial mind to die. Take a risk and implement your entrepreneurial ideas in this country to have a better future for all of us. Dear sir, actually we are very honored to have you here. Professor, we'll meet another day to have a more fruitful discussions. Thank you very much for your presence, sir.
Thank you very much.
So I invite all of you, stay tuned with us, because we have lot more fruitful discussions like this for you to awake your mind, to awake your entrepreneurial mindset, and to guide you through your business venture. Then we'll meet with another video. Stay safe. Thank you.